Of course, the play clock is just now starting, so the difference is not going to be much more than it was. And now West Virginia looks like they're going to take a knee, but Pat White wisely is looking up there and using all the clock he can, which is down to 10. And he'll take a knee. And now a little pushing and shoving after the play. Georgia is not going to take its last time out, apparently. But what a first half of play if you like big plays. West Virginia jumped out 28-0. Georgia bounces back with 21, and it is 31-21. Right now, West Virginia's Mountaineers at halftime. The momentum is with Georgia. Let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Okay, Brad, thank you. Coach Rick, you made adjustments in the second quarter, obviously. You're looking at adjustments coming back for the second half. Those adjustments, do they have more to do with how Georgia's playing or not playing, or a reaction to what West Virginia is doing?
Well, I'll give West Virginia all the credit in the world. They came out and knocked the heck out of us and scored just about every time they touched it, and took advantage of the turnovers that we had, penalties that we had. When we settled down offensively, we did a whole lot better. We got some momentum back, but we're still down 10 and got a long way to go.
What would you do differently in the second half?
Well, hopefully we just we won't turn the ball over, and maybe we'll get one or two. That'd be nice.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
They did turn it over twice. Both of those were turned into touchdowns by West Virginia, but Georgia has battled back. Halftime of the 72nd Nokia Sugar Bowl at the Georgia Dome. West Virginia 31, Georgia 21. As we go to Tempe, Arizona, here's John and the guys.
Craig James and Aaron Taylor here as well. If you had said to Mark Richt before the start of the game you're going to be down 31-21 at halftime, he would have been disappointed, I would think. And then if you told him, but you were down 28-0, he'd be pretty happy.
Well, I think there'd be half America that would be surprised at that whole statement.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? West Virginia has shown up, and they're playing hard. Now, just like Coach Rick said, DJ Shockley and that group needs to settle down. I thought they came out playing bully ball. They really felt like they were just going to run over West Virginia. You could see them playing bully football, you know, and they realized quickly that it wasn't going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't get 10 wins and win the SEC because you guys panicked. Georgia settled down, but their defense, they have to find an answer for that powerful West Virginia offense. They got to do something at halftime.
All right, earlier today we had an unbelievable game here at the Toast Fiesta Bowl. When we come back, we'll sit down with the winning coach. Right now, West Virginia leading 31-21.
Halftime of the Nokia Sugar Bowl at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. 31-21. West Virginia leads Georgia. It was 28-0 at the beginning of the ball game, and Georgia dug themselves out of a hole and got back in the ball game. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy. And you know, I don't know if it's a game of inches, partner, but there was a couple big plays in that first half. One was 3rd and inches, and one was 4th and short. Georgia converted to keep in, and they kept West Virginia out of the end zone on the other one.
Georgia stopped West Virginia, forced them to go for a field goal, and then they turned around. Here it is right here. They stop them, stuff them, and then West Virginia goes for a field goal and makes it. And then later on, Georgia goes down, next possession, 4th down, and goes for it, makes it, goes on and gets a touchdown.
Georgia has to go 80, 90, and 80 to get back in the ball game, and they pick up a 4th down situation. You know, 52 points, we understand they just told us, is a BCS record for two teams combined in the first half of play. I think we got some fireworks left, don't you?
I hope so. I was a little worried when it was 28-0. But I don't, you know, neither defense has stopped the other team's offense. Georgia got theirs going. They've scored the last 3 times they've had the ball. And West Virginia scored 5 of the 6 possessions, so Georgia's still trying to figure out that West Virginia spread.
Yeah, West Virginia just seemed a little bit frustrated near the end of the half. They had a couple of timeouts they had to use, ended up with only a field goal instead of a touchdown. Meanwhile, it seemed like the momentum was Georgia's as it headed to the locker room.
Well, I'm not so sure. I think they had a little bit more momentum than the other team, but we're going to check that out here in the second half.
We'll find out.
This spread's got me convinced. These 2 young freshmen running, I'll tell you.
Well, West Virginia's going to get the football first, too, so we'll see them on offense, and DJ Shockley can only wait and look up and hope that his defense can somehow slow down the Mountaineers' offense, something they've been unable to do except on that one 3rd down and inches situation. After Schmidt, the fullback, had rumbled for 54 yards to get him down. They came up with a 3rd and short, and they made a big play, and they forced a field goal, and then they went down and got another touchdown. So 31-21. Coutu to kick off. It's going to be returnable by Lewis from the goal line. Lewis, almost got around that corner. Georgia closed the door on him, though, at about the 21-yard line. Let's check in with Lynn.
Brad, Coach Rodriguez told me when he was coming out for the start of the second half, he said, we knew that Georgia was going to be a tough opponent. We knew they were going to come back. Yes, it was a great first quarter, but there was a whole football game to play. He said, this is like a fight. All he knows that he has to do is answer the bell. He's got to come out. He says, we've got 100 more slugs to go in this ball game. Then we might have a chance of winning it at the end.
There's a bunch of punches left, I think.
I'm impressed with that young man right there, Pat White, the redshirt freshman that is taken over this squad. This is his 5th start here tonight, and he is doing everything he can for that offense.
How good's he going to be in a couple of years?
Oh, boy.
Wow. Number 22. They give it off to Slayton. Slayton cuts it up. Brings into Georgia's defense in Quentin Moses. Statistically, in the first half, it was so lopsided early, and then as we showed you as it went along, it got more and more even. And in fact, Georgia had more total yardage. Remember, they dropped it twice. See the turnover story down there, the second from the bottom.
Yep.
Those both turned into touchdowns.
14 points, that's right. And then the battle of the field position, where you're starting from, we've been telling you, Georgia has been starting inside their own 20 all night.
Here's second down and 9 for the Mountaineers. Their opening drive of the third quarter. White's going to throw a quick one and got it complete to Miles. And he's got another West Virginia first down. Miles and Renaud have really done a nice job. They don't throw often, but they throw effectively.
Well, they've got this little thing going that Georgia's. Here's Pat White, same pass that he just hit. He was, 8 of 9 in the first half passing?
Including that touchdown to Renaud when he split the 2 safeties for Georgia. So first down out at the 37. And immediately they improved their field position again. And the fullback pulls his way out across the 40 to the 41. Kendrick Golston made the stop on Owen Schmidt. Schmidt's a big fella, 6'3", 250-pounder. Pat White, there's what Bob was talking about. 9 out of 10.
That's a pretty good percentage. He came in like 52% or something like that, 54%.
Straight run here on a direct snap, and he's in the clear. Georgia may have gotten lucky that Verdun Wheeler dragged him down, or he might have been off to the races again. A pickup of 13. Talk about the Home Depot coaching adjustments. What went on at halftime, do we think, Bob?
Well, you know, obviously Georgia's got to slow that running game down, and West Virginia, you got to put more pressure on Shockley, force him into mistakes. They've gotten 2 turnovers. They need more.
White, they haven't gotten a real good hit on him either. He's not only fast, he's shifty enough to always be a little bit sideways, never take a real big hit. As we talked about, when he and Slayton grow up together in this Mountaineer backfield, if they stay healthy, they're going to be something special.
Well, Rich Rodriguez said about Pat White, he says he's as fast as Rasheed Marshall, but he's got more wiggles.
Yep.
Rasheed Marshall was the quarterback last year, the player of the year for West Virginia in the Big East Conference.
Second down and 7 at the Georgia 42. Schmidt again. So they give you a little bit of the speed and that wiggle that Bob talked about, and then they give you the big fella. Schmidt says, I've been called everything. I've been called a horse. I've been called a mule. I've been called an ox. I don't care what you call me. Just let me play.
And those are the types of guys you like to have. I mean, the 5-star recruits, sure you want to go after them, but you got to get some Schmidts, and you also got to get some Steve Slaytons. Slayton wasn't a high-profile recruit, but boy, I tell you what, he turned out to be the top recruit of this whole class.
Georgia's defense would like to cage Pat White right here, and they do. As you saw August 6 looking on, they stop White short of the first down.
This may be one of those areas where you go for it on 4th down, too.
They're bringing in the fullback. kind of no man's land, too deep for a field goal. They feel like they might waste a pooch punt, so it appears they're going to go for it. Just inside the Georgia 37. You see where the first down marker is, right at the 35. White's got Pernell Williams and Schmidt back there with him. I take it back, gets Slayton, and Slayton's got the first down. Tony Taylor made the stop, but it's first down for the Mountaineers, and they move the sticks. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, Georgia's number 30, Keelan Johnson, the backup safety and special teams guy, has a concussion, won't be back in the ball game. But for WVU, they've lost Rashawn Bolden, number 82, the wide receiver, has a broken bone in his left foot, definitely out for the rest of the ball game. In addition to Redwan Malik, hyperextended knee, he's being evaluated.
Here's one wide receiver that is still healthy and has been doing a heck of a job tonight, Darius Renaud. A penalty marker on the play. Personal foul on Georgia. Not what they need. Mark Rick keeping his cool on the sideline.
Personal foul on the defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's always good for the officiating crew.
End of the play, and there's the push by Greg Blue.
Yeah, it's always good on one of the officials in the officiating crew to go over and talk to the coach and tell him personally before the referee announces it. Just give him a little special attention. Let him know what's going on.
Here's the Mountaineers at the 20 again. First and 10. Opening drive, third quarter. Looking to add to their 10-point lead. White, a second trip up to talk to his offensive lineman. It's Schmidt, left side. The big fella hard to bring down. Inside the 15. Good gain again. It'll bring up a second down, and Schmidt's got 71 yards on 6 carries.
Yeah, he came in with 300 yards on the year rushing. But I'm impressed with this guy. He's got the power. The other guy's got the speed and the wiggles, but this one has the power.
Up until this year, the fullback in the Rich Rodriguez era had 7 carries total. He's got 71 yards tonight. There's a big hit on Slayton. Ball almost popped out of there. Georgia acting as though they have a play on it, and they don't. Jarvis Jackson made the hit.
It's a big hit by Jackson. Tackling him one-on-one in the hole.
You know, coming into this game, Greg Blue, who just had that penalty called on him a couple of plays ago, he said, we're going to introduce Mr. White and Mr. Slayton to Southeastern Conference football. So they were hoping to get some big hits, and now we got a personal foul going the other way. This one on West Virginia.
That ball did come out, Brad, but Slayton got back on it.
After the play, personal foul on the offense, number 7. Down does count. The down will be 3. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
That's really big. The down stays the same. Brandon Miles, the wide receiver, is the guy that got called for the personal foul, and that'll back it up all the way to the 28-yard line. Now it's going to be third down and about 18. Big difference. Now let's see if they'll put it in the air. When they've thrown it tonight, they've thrown it very effectively. White shifts Slayton over now to his left. Third down and long. White wants to throw back. Georgia almost had him trapped. He gets away once. He doesn't get away twice. The same guy stayed with it. Quentin Moses. He leads the Georgia team in sacks. That's number 11 and a half. He almost had 2 on the same play.
He wanted to throw this ball back. Watch, he's going to fake to Slayton. Now he's going to look back to the right side. When the throwback. Now he's just trying to make something out of nothing.
How about Moses staying with it?
Yeah, he tripped him.